Wow. That was not intentional. Today I'm going to interview Livio's brilliant blunders, From Darwin to Einstein, Colossal Mistakes by Great Scientists That Changed Our Understanding of Life and the Universe. This book was published in May of 2013 by Simon & Schuster. This edition has 352 pages and it has 31 ratings on Goodreads. Obviously this book is nonfiction and it's discussing 5 of the great scientists that a lot of people know about. Maybe I would say at least 2 of these scientists you know about, which are on the cover, Darwin and Einstein, and then maybe the 3 in the middle. It might be up in the air if you recognize them or not, but they did contribute a lot to our understanding of the universe. This book is in chronological order, and how it's structured is 2 chapters are dedicated to this particular scientist and his discovery. So the first of those 2 chapters pretty much is like a mini biography of that person, at least centered around their life, and it describes their success, their brilliance in the field, and how their theory has promoted understanding and has answered a lot. And then it kind of says, but they're wrong, at the end of that chapter. And so the second half of their 2-chapter dedication is the description of exactly what about their theory was wrong, or what one of their hypotheses was wrong, how people came to find out that it was wrong, and how it was debunked, and how people went about debunking it. And with that process of actually looking into something, saying like, that doesn't really look right, and when people looked into that data, they actually ended up learning more things and discovering more. And in some cases, a whole new field of science was kind of created just by wondering a particular question. I really enjoyed this book, and it was very interesting reading about these different scientists, the exact circumstances that they were in, their biases, their brilliance, and sometimes how easily they made a mistake. Like some of the things in here, they found out that some people were using constants that were 100 magnitudes off, that totally kind of threw them off or reaffirmed their ideas in something else. And a lot of brilliant people can be biased and can be misled and can make mistakes just like anyone else, and it even goes into the psychology of why some of these people kind of thought the way they did on these some particular topics, and either why they held so fast to their ideas, or why they were so stubborn, or why it took so long to figure out they were wrong. I think it's a very good look into how the scientific process really truly does work. Like, no matter how brilliant you are, no matter how much people just hang on your every word when you write a paper and they just say it's wonderful, they still have to hold up to scientific scrutiny, and how science is still done by people, and people are fallible, and because people do science, it's a continuous process, and so you get a good look into really what the scientific process is, and how it continuously is reworking old ideas, constantly trying to challenge what we think every day, what a lot of people think and have come to believe, and how we use debate, mistakes to help build up on our knowledge and make it better. If you're completely clueless about science in general, or you think you're completely clueless, or you think that you know nothing about science, I do think this book might intimidate you a bit. I'm not going to say you wouldn't understand it, but I do think that someone would need to be a little bit comfortable with basic concepts or ideas of science to read this book comfortably. It's not like you have to be an expert in biology or general relativity. They explain things in this book, but they do use a few big words, I would say. I really did enjoy this book. I give it 4 out of 5 stars. I'll probably definitely be picking it up in the future. And I was even talking with a coworker earlier today about this book and how much I enjoyed it, and how really it does apply. I think it is reassuring, especially in my field, that no matter how smart you are, you're going to make a mistake. Just learn from your mistakes, and then things will get better. This shows that by making mistakes, you increase your chances of learning and understanding, because if you just always think that you're right and every single thing that you do is right and you never make a mistake, there's a lot that you're potentially missing, and you know, getting a little bit messy might be a good thing. Some of these stories are kind of brutal, like especially how one person was proved wrong. It was like the equivalent of, you know, someone telling you that your crush is inviting you to a party, and then you go to the party and you go there and there's a crowd of people, and then someone comes behind you and pantses you. That is how like crushing one of these stories is, of like how someone was proven wrong. I can imagine he ran crying out of the building. Poor guy, but at the same time, he was wrong, but it didn't, some scientists are jerks, just to be honest. Even if they're right. Also, just to let you know, this book really talks about Darwin, Lord Kelvin, Linus Pauling, Fred Hoyt. Finally, after Hoyt, it goes to Albert Einstein and his biggest blunder. This book probably isn't a good like introduction to science, but if you're already comfortable with it, I think you would enjoy this book. So that's my review. I hope you have a great day. Bye!